All right, greetings, welcome, and thank you for stopping by. If you are stopping by here on YouTube live this glorious Monday, October the 10th, 2022, wherever you're on the globe, if you're logging in at a later date and time, whenever you're clicking on this video, greetings, welcome, and thank you. If you're coming in love and light, high vibes, and positivity, thank you for stopping by here on YouTube at the one and only the raw, the rare, the real, the tried and the true, Bloom from Within Love. I go by Bloomy. And if you're new, I invite you to look at the description box and the created playlist I've created for you all, as well as other content creators that I recommend that you might find useful on your own journey. Now, this is a discussion that just came to me while I was exercising. Okay. I was out and about doing like a track brisk walk with arm movements, power walks and all of that stuff in nature. It was a little mini thing. It was just about 30 minutes and it was in the fresh air and in my yard. And because finally I discovered, like, hello, the yard is big enough. I can do that. I don't know what took me so long to even come to realize that. That I can actually use my own yard from the front to back like a track, right? Um, so, anywho, I digress. I was exercising, and as I was exercising, what came to me was what you guys see in the title as you come in here: the woes of either an awakening or the awakened Black woman. Okay. And so simply take what I'm saying as it resonates. This is certainly not for everybody, and it's not meant to be pushed onto anybody. If this is resonating with you and your story in some way, shape, form, or fashion, or someone that you're thinking of, then it's just simply that simple. Okay. If it's not for you, guess what? That's okay too. All right. So when you all hear me say the awakened or awakening Black woman, when I'm referencing it, I can't speak for every other reader, Reiki master, teacher, or whatever people call themselves, but when I am referencing it, I'm talking about people that know they're on an ascension path to conscious expansion. They know they came here on a higher soul level. They know that they are, you know, that you're disconnecting from the matrix. The illusions are shattering. You're stepping into your higher selves, and all of that. Okay. Um, that kind of energy. So we're not talking about a label per se. We're not talking about a religious bent per se. We're talking about people that are really here on an awakened path. That's embracing that, not staying stuck in the fear ego based grid, the karmic grid, the outdated lower vibrational grid. Expanded, okay? Healing and awakening and transcending. And it's, from my perspective, I'm sharing this, okay? Because every culture on earth has its own set of woundings and traumas that each and every one of us have come in with to deal with on some level. So the African American woman, with the traumas that come with from the lineages that she carnated into, okay, all that implies, right? So it's almost a compounding effect. And I'm not sharing this so that like people could go bad, because actually an awakening or awakened Black woman is very powerful. And so it's not about victimization or feeling sorry. Okay, for her, she doesn't need it. But this is the woes that she has to work through with her healing and ascension. The traumas of the African American culture has created a self-hatred and animosities amongst one's own, unlike any other. And it's due to the roots of what took place as a result of slavery. Okay, just to keep it short. So it's programmed epigenetically, quantumly, cellular DNA. Okay. And this is why a lot of African American cultures or families, whether they are displaying it or not, have some deep rooted major family toxicity that's unique in its own. Okay. Because every family's got something, but it's unique in that there's this self-hatred, and then it's projected onto one another. There's a self-hatred due to these betrayals, being sold in slavery, selling one another out in slavery to be in the master's house and for benefits. And, it's just, it's deep, deep, deep. Okay. So an awakened Black woman has to come face to face in terms with, chances are she came from a family of betrayers, which is the deepest type of betrayal and trauma that you can ever experience. Okay. So, on top of that, all right, so she has to deal with the woes of other Black women, okay, her family, first and foremost, or her bloodline and her kin, okay. Then she has to deal with other Black women that has this hatred energy, okay. They're threatened by her. And so it's an unhealthy sense of competition. We're not talking about the healthy sense, this unhealthy desire to tear one another down, one up, constantly competing, trying to be the better version of the other instead of being a better version of the self. So an awakening Black woman has to deal with her own people being the root and the core of betrayals and coming against her, on top of other African American women, okay, that's threatened by her awakening, looking at her as a threat, feeling triggered by her. On top of the racism. So the other cultures that are not truly awakening, those deep-rooted racism and discriminations that are in the DNA, whether they are fully aware of this or not, but this is what drives this hatred and what drives this incessant attempt to compete against or come against the African American woman. Okay, especially if she's in a similar field, okay, or whatever the situation is. So the awakened African American woman has to deal with, again, one, her own kinfolk being the source of betrayals. Okay, them not getting her, them not understanding her, them basically trying to sell her out to low vibratory fucks. Okay, then she's got to deal with the other African American women who are being triggered by her awakening. Then she has to deal with other nationalities and cultures that are not healing and awakened with their deep-rooted drama and trauma that they're operating from, with racism coming against her. Okay. So that's number one. Number two, masculine energy. The awakened and awakening African American Black woman has to deal with wounded masculine energies that are drawn to her, yet intimidated by her at the same time. They're drawn to her light, enjoy her presence, enjoy her company, enjoy who she is, but there's a deep root underlying frequency of hatred for her because they haven't dealt with their trauma. So hatred of her development, hatred of her success, and it comes out with, them attempting to slight her, minimize her, tear her down, come against her. That's the manifestation of it. Very similar to women. But this will come out in some form of a religious abuse, some form of authoritative abuse, or something, and an attempt to try to level up themselves by tearing her down. It's almost as if they can't enjoy her unless they minimize her. Usually is why they end up settling for karmic feminine energy so that they don't feel triggered, so that they don't feel some kind of way. So this is a woe of an awakening Black woman, because her sheer essence and energy is equally drawing people as much as it is intimidating people at the same time. And when people are not healthy, they don't know how to deal with what's causing them to behave a certain way. Okay. Number three. Again, it's kind of reiterating number one. Her very own people are drawn to her, but there's a love-hate relationship that they have with her. They're drawn to her. They're drawn to her light, her wisdom, her knowledge, her energy. But there's a love-hate. They want to use her and dismiss her at the same time. They want to use her and discredit her at the same time. They want to use her and abuse her because they're not dealing with the issues within them. Why they're drawn to her is to perpetuate their own awakening and healing. But the problem is, when people aren't doing that, then it's going to go in the other direction. When people are choosing to stay asleep and preferring the sleep state, preferring the blue pill, preferring karmic energy, then it's going to flip into the other state where it's like, we want to use her, we want to steal from her, we want to create profiles and platforms with her information, we want to use her ascension for our benefit secretly. We want to steal her creations, we want to steal her content, we want to use her, but abuse her, have no respect for her, discredit her. This is a woe of an awakened Black woman. Okay. Number 4, a woe of an awakening Black woman is the religious community. Most African Americans come from major traditionalist backgrounds. Traditionalist, man-made religion systems where there's been a whole lot of toxicity and dysfunction and abuse, but it's something that has been deeply, deeply ingrained. Meanwhile, no one has ever healed. No one has ever addressed their emotional and mental state and intelligence. No one has ever dealt with the deep-rooted, abusive issues within one's own family, structure, or even belief system. When an African American woman frees herself from that, then she has all of the aforementioned targeting her on top of these communities that are in disillusionment, feeling triggered, angry, bothered by, and entitled to, attempt to discredit her and attempt to bring her down. It is spiritual disillusionment when we believe we have a right to do that, no matter what religious bent we have. But only someone that's awakening can even make sense of what I just said. So, the woe of an awakened and awakening Black woman, number 4, is she has to deal with a religious community that, again, feels entitled to stalk her, troll her, intrude upon her energy space, people that lacks respect for other people's rights and boundaries, okay? And we're talking about in the 3D, in the ethers, on the earth, in social media, and in person. All of it matters, and all of it counts. Okay? Number 5, one of the challenges of an awakening Black woman is balancing the light. Balancing, the light that they truly carry, their true frequency and their true essence as an earth angel or a starseed, balancing that out with the denser energies, with the polarity and duality of earth, and the experiences that she has with other humans. It's a challenge because her natural frequency is higher, and it's more pixie ducksy, it's more, butterflies and the natural frequency, but that's not always conducive to the things that she has to deal with, that she works through on earth. So it's a constant teeter-tottering of trying to get herself in neutral to maintain her true vibrational state while addressing things and dealing with issues, okay? Because dealing on earth school and with low vibratory energies or asleep individuals, it's not going to be always where you can just go whatever, or pixie dust and que sera. There's situations that there's call to action. You have to stand up for yourself, putting up boundaries, the situations that you just can't ignore or walk away from. And so the awakened Black woman is still healing all of her pain and trying to balance it out, wanting to operate her true frequency of love, but realizing that you have to still have a level of discernment on earth, because not every earth person or what you're looking at in this 3D, what you're experiencing, is going to be operating from that frequency. So being in a position to keep balancing out, keep shifting as you need to. This is one of the challenges of an awakened African American Black woman. Okay. So to wrap it all up, top five challenges or woes of an awakened Black woman. And again, this is not to feel sorry for the awakened Black woman. This is to bring awareness. This is also to bring confirmation to those of you who are the awakened Black women to what you've been sensing and feeling, but it's to bring awareness to other individuals that are maybe outside of this awakened Black woman, to understand her journey and what has formed her, who she is, what she does, what she don't do, and why. Awakening for any of us is not for the faint of heart. The African American woman, the Black woman, comes with an extra set of issues. The wounding of her culture has created such toxicity within her own culture, so she has to deal with that. The wounding in these ancestral bloodlines is the source of most of the betrayals in her life, so she has to deal with that. Racism on a whole, okay, whatever took place, okay, these individuals being threatened and intimidated by her development, her knowledge, and her understanding. Masculine energy that's refusing to heal, but it's drawn to her, but yet intimidated. So it's like a love-hate and wanting to punish her because she's developed. Three, again, her own people being drawn to her, but have a love-hate relationship with her, only wanting to use her and abuse her. Her awakening, instead of going on their own perspective awakening journey. Religious community, these deep, old, ancient, toxic paradigms that feels entitled to dictate and control and bully people's lives, attempting to ruin people's lives and calling it spirituality, God, or authority. She has to deal with that. And lastly, number 5, the constant teeter-totter of balancing out her natural frequency with the density that she's always dealing with on the earth. The polarities, the dualities, the reality that though her natural frequency may be higher, or that of love and light, that she has to know how to navigate the world when there's call to action, when there's call to put up a boundary, where there's a call to be assertive, where there's a call to allow the shadow to be revealed so that people can understand that she is of love and light, but she also has volatile power when necessary, which is equally divine energy. So I hope this helps. If you are an African American, awakened and awakening African American woman, then you're listening to someone who can simply understand your story and path. So this is probably just confirming to you what you already know. If you're someone that cares for an awakened or awakening Black woman, hopefully this serves to help you to understand who she is a whole lot more, why she is who she is, how she became who she became. And maybe you'll find a newfound respect for her, having understood her a lot better. We live in a time where people are impatient and could care less about really getting to know folks, why people are who they are, when we live in the world of swipe left, swipe right. So I hope that this information helps some of y'all out there slow down and understand that there is always more to things than meets the eye. I love our technology. I love how we have advanced, and it serves. I'm able to do this because of it. One of the downdrops is it's created for those of us that are not balancing out impatience to truly authentic and organic relationships and having an interest in people beyond a profile picture and a video and instant gratifications of this 3D. There's so much more to us than meets the eye. And it's certainly so much more to an awakened Black woman than meets the eye. People have a lot of views and opinions about this type of a woman. And I hope that this little bit of information shines a light on the depth of who an awakened Black woman truly is. Namaste.